Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Okay, there's a lot of cool stuff here. I think I already watched this one, Graham. And Mark, I see this Burger in London video. I like to watch a food video, but Rob Morrison, we are going to do this one. Just because it looks cool. Preemptive, like 1979, Steeplejack FRED DIBNAH takes down a massive chimney brick by brick. Brick by brick. Look, this is a random one. These are sometimes my favorite. I don't really know what I'm getting into, and that's part of the fun. Original link to the video, top of the description, guys. Below that, Discord. We'd love to have you.
It's not so pleasant on a Monday morning, and it's cold and wind's blowing, and you look up, like, you know, and you think, oh, good God, you know, so... This year it's been windy nearly every day. I don't think we've had above a month when the weather's been really decent. It's either been blowing a force 9 or raining or, you know, snowing or freezing cold.
Force 9?
You suffer. Some days might be bloody awful on the floor, you know, and then you set off up the ladder and go through the fog, and it's like being in an aeroplane. You can see all the chimney stacks and towers and church steeples and hills outside of town sticking up through all this cloud. And
Smart grabbing the sides of it, because I feel like you had much more control and safer, I guess, on the sides, because it just...
Pools and hills outside of town sticking up through all this cloud and sun shining up above. Beautiful. Sort of. My camera's never worked right though when that's been about, you know. And you can see when the rain's coming, you know, half an hour before it comes, it's on its way. You can see, you know, miles and miles. Summer's best when sun's shining, you know, and everybody down below's all sweating away inside, and you were up there and a nice cool breeze blowing, you know, beautiful.
He hooks his leg around the ladder.
It's strange. Once you've started, you get like addicted to it. You just live it, you know, like day and night. Think about it, talk about it. Some days you don't want to go. Oh, you know, why the hell did I start this job, you know? But once you've got cracking like it, well, I always feel that, you know, when I'm really putting big pile of stagings up round top of a chimney, you know, like when I've got it all up, you know, it's a work of art, you know, a masterpiece.
You say sturgeon? What are they, smoking fish at the top or something?
This particular job, I've got the contract for £7,000 to knock it down a brick at once, right down to the bottom. When I first came to look, bitter cold morning, the
sounds like a lot of money, especially for 1979 to take that down.
7,000. This particular job, I've got the contract for £7,000 to knock it down a brick at once.
I mean, what do I know? It's clearly a dangerous job. One, that's one. Two, I don't know the inflation rate of the pound. And three, I don't know how difficult it is. So it's hard for me to say, oh, that's a good deal, when I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So let's go.
Right down to the bottom. When I first came to look, bitter cold morning, the wind howling down off the mountains, you know, and I thought, ugh, you know. How come they always send for me in the middle of winter? Anyway, I'd have told the powers that be, like, you know, that I want £7,000, you see. And I didn't think I'd get the job, you know. Anyway, it turned out that they honoured me with giving it me, which means that the other fellas wanted a hell of a lot more, you know.
Jesus Christ, this is...
The reason for the price were I didn't really want the job. Like, if it had been a repair job, which, you know, on average takes, what, a month, 5 weeks. It's not so bad, but when it comes into months and months, you see, it's a bit different. Furthermore, when there's only like one of you, and such a gigantic pile of bricks, you know, you've got to have a stout heart to take it on your own.
And not get like a tenth of the way through and be like, screw this. But it almost sounds as if he's saying, like, he just like threw out a number, like he didn't want to do it. All right, I'll do it for like 7,000. And they're like, all right, deal. And he's like, crap, I should have asked more.
You know, you've got to have a stout heart to take it on your own. The Briar here, there's like too many buildings, you know, to drop the thing, like, or blow it up, as some people do.
That's what I was going to ask.
The chairman of Court Halls won't let it be blown up, so I've got to knock it down a brick at once. It don't do to think about how long it's going to take you, you know, you've just got to keep bashing some off. I've been here too long already, you know, about 3 months and done now, which in my eyes I'm quite disgusted, but the weather's been outrageous, you know, and now we're in with a chance to get something done. Like, we've got everything working according to how it should do, like the chute at the bottom is working now, which you can have a lot of trouble with them if you don't get the plates quite right. They keep getting bunged up and you're forevermore waiting for the bloke at the bottom to clear out the bricks, and you've got to make sure he's out the way, because if you drop one down and it comes shooting out and hits him up back at neck, he's dead. On the top, like on your own, you get a bit lonely, like, you know, nobody, only the birds about, and occasionally I have a friend who comes round to see me, like, you know, and he has a shin up and we have a bit of a chat, like. Yeah, it must do something.
I know this is a cliche, and I don't, but I can't. I was born in 93, okay? 29 years old. I remember a time before everyone had a cell phone, right? Like I sort of remember that. And I remember I remember when people had like house phones, like you had you call the house had a phone number, 245-5767. That was my old, I can't believe I just remembered that. But I'm thinking like, oh, you have a podcast on up there, it wouldn't be so bad. But it's so hard to think of just what you did with your time. I guess you had to figure out what you want to do, or you just had to, you know, be mentally stronger. I feel like nowadays there are so many things that we can just keep our mind from. I think you get what I mean. I don't want to.
You know, well, I feel better when I'm doing it, you know. I can come home at tea time and demolish a great lump of steak and a big plate of chips, and sort of if you're mucking about pointing round somebody's window frames, things like that, bloody fed up, you know. I'm like, no exciting going on, you know, nothing to battle with.
Do you have life insurance?
Really, you're dicing with death with a rotten old top on the chimney, you know. There's been a lot of men died fiddling with them things.
I had a weird thing where I kind of like chuckled seeing him throw the cigarette down, but then he said people died, and now I feel like I look like a psycho, which obviously I wasn't.
I've never fell off a big chimney, you know. You only fall off one of them once. Like.
Yeah.
One day, I fell off a pair of steps in a little girl's bedroom and landed on a drilling machine and knocked myself unconscious. And I don't remember much about it, but morning after, I couldn't get out of bed and I had to stay there for 3 weeks, all through falling off a pair of steps. And, you know, that's about the only injury I've ever done myself. Donald, my labourer down there, he's like a very important man, you see. You've got to have a man who has got a reasonable amount in grey matter. Like here, this noise of these fans going, it's impossible to shout 200 feet. Like, there's no way you can converse with each other. It more or less runs by more or less habit. The thing is that, you know, he's got a good brain, which is really what you need, you see. You get some young lad, like his heart can be in right place, but if he sees a girl in the office, he wanders away, and sort of when you need him, you know, you look down and he's gone. In the past, like, I've had lots of labourers, you know, some drank rather a lot, sort of led me astray in a way.
He reminds me of Del Boy a little.
Donald, he's a staunch teetotaler, so in lots of ways he's a good ambassador for me, you see. He keeps me out of the pub. Look at that. Something's gone wrong with it, Donald.
I love just watching videos. This is why I love British Path. Of just the joy is not in so much what they're doing. It's just watching people live and talk decades ago. It just gives me a special feeling. Just like this guy lived. Like, think of. I don't know how deep I want to get here, but like you ever think about this? Like, if you see someone in the car in traffic, and you know, like, you're never gonna see that face again. You know, 99.99% chance. You know that is just another face. You ever? And sometimes I think, like, that person lived a whole life. They had a childhood. They had awkward things. They had, you know, probably sports and things. And it's just so crazy about, like, everyone you see just for a split second that you're never gonna see again. That, like, they have a whole life story, and I don't know. It's crazy. I think about that sometimes. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
Well, bricks are coming out at all, all right, aren't they? Jeez, what is it again? A yard a day off.
No, just about down for June holiday.
No, they'll be lucky and all. Get fed up and keep looking up there, you know.
He's got to do, like,
more steeplejacks I know. People come and say, you're always drunk when he went up, like, you know, sort of. I wouldn't say that I've ever done it drunk, but if you were banging away with a big hammer all day, a few pints, you know, don't do you any harm, you know, it sort of kills the pain. There's no doubt about that, you know. Sort of, I've had characters work for me who, in the morning at 9 o'clock, like, they got the shakes and sort of hell of a job getting up, but after they'd had about 5 pints at dinner time, they were, you know, they were quite full of beans.
Wouldn't recommend it.
In 20 years, I've only ever had 2 calamities. One where a load of brick fell on top of a blacksmith shop and completely demolished it. And I thought, this is the end of my steeplejacking career. I can laugh now, but I didn't then, you know. When I come down, I was shaking all over, you know, in the pub for a pint. But Mr. Courtall decided that what I'd wrecked weren't worth keeping anyway, so there were only a very small claim off the insurance people, you see. And then on another occasion, we put rather a big dinge in top of a brand new motor car that were parked up really with inside my piece of rope that I'd got round the bottom of the chimney, you see. It weren't really my fault, you see. I picked 2 bricks up and the wind took off a nice 3/4 of an inch thick bed of pretty stiff mortar, which went like an autogyro on the wind, and, you know, right over there about 100 yards, and boom, Porsche straight on top of his new car, you see. So he wanted a new roof on his brand new Volvo. Now I have to have a third-party insurance policy for people like autos. You know, if I kill one of their operatives, you know, I'm in dire trouble, you see. I mean, they'd commandeer my traction engine or something like that. Insurance men and me don't mix, you know. I mean, the thing is that I don't intend dying, you know.
No one
it's
does.
a bit like being a motor car racer or this fella who jumps over cliffs on his motorbike. I bet he's not got a life insurance policy, you know. If he has, it'll cost him a fortune. No, I don't really bother with that side of it, you know. I know one thing, I ain't going to die, you know. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to die in bed with my boots on.
That's got to be an odd thing, like going to buy life insurance. Takes obviously, you know, you should, depending on, you know, who depends on you or whatnot, but it's got to be a weird feeling. Like, I'm like, if I die, then I get this. You know what I mean? Yeah, great video. Again, I love it just because I love, oh my God, see? Like, you know that old, it's like, I feel like most people in the US would recognize it. That old Empire State Building Workers poster. Yeah, like this right here. Like, it just makes me think, like, what they sounded like and what they, how they walk, just what their home life was like. And it's fascinating just watching people. And I always say how jealous I am of people centuries from now who are going to be able to look back at videos of high definition videos. It'll be, you know, bad quality to them, I'm sure, but of his historic people walking around talking and have all this plethora of videos. And you know, we only have 100 years at best of video. I mean, a few more than that, but really not great quality. It's not like you can just like pull it up and I don't know. I just wonder about like what, like that guy right there, boom, pick one. Like what his life was like. I'm getting, you know what I mean. Cool video. Thanks, guys. And love to see you on the Discord if that's your thing. If not, fine. And I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye, guys.